So we're in the peak season for wingsuit base jumping now. This year's been a pretty bad year for incidents. Normally, you're looking at between 15 and 30 fatalities a year. Just by definition, the more you do something that's risky, the more likely the outcome's going to be bad. But it is possible to have a long base career.
Yeah, nice, Dave.
And whether I do, that's a different matter.
Timmy, how many people do we know from the base fatality list?
We're about 10 this year.
This year? What about all the years?
More than 10.
20?
Base jumping, it's a high-risk sport, so you can never get the risk down to zero. But for me, the more technical and more demanding the jump is, the more specialized the planning and training.
Gross Spannort is quite an intimidating rock spire that was first base jumped by Patrick Kerber about 10 years ago. It's quite a scary looking peak, quite difficult to access, and you're standing on this rocky outcrop looking down this huge vertical drop back into the valley. Sadly, he passed away on a base jump on an adjacent mountain in the same valley, and with him, the information on that jump was lost.
Opening new exits does come with its own risks because you really don't know what to expect. There's a few key bits in this video that helps me find out where the exit is, especially because he's wearing a camera that's facing rearward, so I can see exactly where on the mountain he jumps. A brand new exit, I think you're going to be as sharp as you can possibly be. You're not going to be complacent, and you're going to do everything you can do to mitigate the risk. So this is Gross Spannort here. So I reckon the exit's around there, with the initial rock drop. So 200 meters down, and 0 out. So the red line denotes what the ground is that we've calculated from fat maps. And then I can overlay one of my flights that I've already done. 600 meters down in elevation, I need to be 200 meters forward. And we can quite easily see that I'm miles above the ground. As I know it gets steeper and steeper, I can start traversing the wall. So this is roughly what I think I'm going to fly. When we reach this cliff at the end, that's when we know it's time to increase our glide ratio and pull our parachute ready to land in, I'm going to say, this field here. And we've got our flight mapped out. In order to execute the type of jumps that I do, there's a lot of gear that I need to pull it off. So we've got 2 different types of rangefinder here. It's always good to have a backup, especially when you're on an expedition. If I point the laser at a certain point below me, it'll tell me how far down and how far out. And the one that I've got does the calculations of trigonometry in the rangefinder itself. Then we've got an SOS device here. You can just call in for the heli. Handy. All the gear that I take up, I need to fly back down. So that's really important when I'm choosing the gear that I need. Something like this belay device, you can use a carabiner as a belay device if you know the certain rope techniques. So I can leave that behind and just take one of these. Because I don't know what I'm really up against here, I'm going to take very basic climbing equipment. I might not have to use it, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And then this is the wingsuit that I'm going to fly, hopefully off Gross Spannort in the next few days. And it's completely been customized, the size, the fit, the logos, the colors, everything on it. Wingsuits have come on a lot since they were first developed, and they're now really complicated bits of kit. Airlocks, the size of the air inlets, the leading edge material, the materials they use for ultralight or normal weight, the types of zip, the type of thread, everything is carefully selected. I could pack blindfolded and I'd be happy with the outcome of that parachute. Some people, it will take an hour to pack, but I can probably pack in 15 minutes, and I know people that can pack in 5. And that's because I've packed way more times than I've jumped.
I would say Tim is, he's somebody that likes to push the limits, likes to take risk, likes to live life, but he's definitely somebody that thinks very hard about all the risks that he's taking.
Eva and I went through as much detail as we can find out about it, and we can get an idea of how technical the jump could be. The main issue with Gross Spannort is just the unknown. It's not the easiest to reach exit point. You need to bivvy overnight and climb the next day. There is some climbing involved, a glacier to cross. So those attributes definitely make it less likely to be frequented.
He should jump, and he will be jumping, and he will do it safely. This is not something that is totally unachievable. I mean, he's in the right mindset, he's in excellent health. As long as he can find a suitable cliff or exit that exists, I'm sure he'll be fine, and he accomplishes this.
Hey, hon. Yeah, just got a real nice spot. Yeah, the sunset's absolutely amazing. As soon as I'm up there, I can laser it and do all the calculations a little bit more in depth. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine when we're on the exit. The mountains are generally just a very objectively dangerous area. Everything from rockfall to crevasses to getting lost in a storm.
I find it interesting considering whether it's more dangerous, the kind of jumps that Tim does.
I think he values his life and the potential that life brings, that he would never risk of losing it.